I'll begin by saying this, that something happened to the entire black race in the 1960s, the entire black race. And that coordinated effort that resulted in actions that took place for the entire black race started way back in the late 1940s, where what we achieved was political freedom. And if you look across the globe, in the 1960s, from the works of civil rights and from the works of anti-colonization, that coordinated effort across the continent and with friends of Africans led to political freedom that took place in the 1960s. In the US was civil rights. In Africa was independence. In the Caribbean was also independence. But I'll tell you this, that no nation, African nation in itself or the continent of Africa will truly be free if you're not economically liberated, period. And because we have not achieved that economic liberation, we're still where we are. So whoever pays the piper dictates the tune. That's exactly what's still going. So in as much as people will stand at the UN and graciously, the UN Secretary General gave those flowing, speech, and everybody else. But look, let me be very frank with you. No more lip services. If you look at the economics of Africa, you begin to wonder, what's Africa's population to its GDP? We're about today 1.45 billion people with a nominal GDP of what? 2.8 to 3.6 trillion dollars. And that same population with India alone, India has a GDP of $4.15 trillion. The China, about $20 trillion. We have the same population. Why is our own different? Because we no longer totally have the control of our economics. For us to do that, we must look inwards and unite and organize, like my dear sisters talked about, and we must look outward as well. Outward meaning the African in the diaspora. Those who left 500 years ago and those who left 20 years ago, including myself. So particularly, look at the United States. The buying power of the black man in 2000 was about $800 billion. Today, that has gone to about 1.2 to 1.6 trillion dollars. That's a whole lot of money. So we must connect that huge economies between the Africans in the diaspora and back home. That will begin to spell its words.
All right, sir.
What's the trade indices within the African continent? Only about 15%, compared to other people who are about 45, 50, 60% in other continents. If we do not trade amongst ourselves, how the heck are we going to become economic relevant? And then lastly, look, we talk about the different governments and all that. What we need to look at, the conglomerates, those who are truly mining the resources that we have in Africa. Who are they? What are their roles? What are their effects on the continent and even their governments that they control? If we must come to a point where we achieve what I ask for now is economic liberation, not freedom, liberation. If we must do that, we must be intentional, we must be strategic, and we must be collective in our thinking and our actions.